Now, I promised you an update on my acoustic panels, and ta-da! Panels fixed. Or are they? Oh, hello. Do you know what I'm doing now? That's right. I'm wearing an outfit that says, I've given up on life, which is funny because I have. Well, we might not be able to fix our relationships, but we can fix our panels. And you know what they say? Well, if at first you don't succeed, divorce, divorce, divorce. Hi, I'm Scott. You're watching Inside Musicals, the channel for all things musical theatre. For crafting musical theatre. Crafting musical. Do I need to call Judy from HR? No. You're breaking up. I'm going through a tunnel. I can't hear you. Now, it's important to remember this project started as an experiment. I wanted acoustic panels that were effective, affordable, easy to construct, but also portable, because I want to use them in multiple spaces. So I'll link to that original video at the end of this one, but also in the description. So here's the problem. After a couple of days, the foam panels fell off the backing. But I won't keep you in suspense. I do have a solution. But there are two things I need to address. First, these hook and loop dots have a tendency to curl because they came rolled up in a box and they want to return to that shape, which pulls them off whatever backing they're on. And secondly, they tended to pull off the foam before they pulled off the backing, which suggests that maybe the porosity of the foam is an issue. So first up, I simply lay the panels flat for a couple of weeks, hoping that the dots will settle into a new shape. But no, when I hang them up, same thing happens again. So solution number one, fresh dots, ironed flat. And Judy from HR says ironing's a lot like brain surgery. Anyone can do it. But don't burn your fingers. We're not insured for that. Now we want enough heat to reshape them, but not so much that we melt them or destroy the glue. So glue side down, I cover them with a piece of linen as insulation, a light spritz of water, because I want some steam, but again, not so much that we destroy the glue. Now so far, so good, but I'll give them a few days just to see how they settle. Now, solution number two, I want to increase the adhesion of the dots, particularly to the foam. So I remove all the dots, start fresh, and I spray a solvent-based adhesive to the foam and to the backing, but only where the dots are going to be. And if you remember back to the first video, I don't want to spray the whole panel because it creates a barrier to sound, and I want the full depth of the panel to absorb sound. And then I'll leave it to dry, because all I want is a sealed surface rather than a porous one. And I want it dry because I don't know how the adhesive on the dots will interact with the wet glue that I'm spraying. Now you could also use a liquid epoxy or anything else that will leave a solid, permanent, stickable surface. Now a few days later, the dots are still flat. Yay! So I can reconstruct the whole panel. So I'll leave it all for a day and nothing falls off. But for my own peace of mind, I'm going to cover the whole panel in a piece of fabric just to secure everything in place. So I find a fabric offcut in a secondhand store, about $3 to cover 2 panels. Then I cut it to size, leaving plenty of overhang. Then I fold the edges to prevent fraying. Plus it's neater. And of course, we like it neat, like our gin. But we're not animals. Now this backing is a pin board, so it's easy enough just to staple everything in place. Just regular staples, they don't need to be heavy duty. You could use drawing pins if that's your thing. Hey, I don't judge. So we want the cover to be firm, but it doesn't need to be tight, and I'll show you why shortly. So I start in the center of each side, just to hold everything in place and work my way around. Now, just as a sidebar, when I constructed the second panel, I did one whole side first and then worked my way around. Turned out exactly the same, so strategy's up to you. Then we come to the corners. Again, neat, because for me, these things are going to be movable and I'm going to see the back. And for extra security, I have another little trick up my sleeve. I've made 2 holes in the backing at the junction of the foam panels. So I thread some yarn through a button, front and back, to hold everything in place. And remember, the foam's already attached, we're just reducing its tendency to pull forward. Now, if you don't have the time or energy for a full cover, here's a quick solution. Just strap everything down. And for this, you'll need some wide ribbon. Either 2 lengths, one down the midline of each row of panels, or 3 lengths, one down the center line of the entire panel, and one on either side, and then just staple them down from the back. Now back to our full cover. It might look a little lumpy. Lumpy, like my memory after a throatful of gin. Or when Judy from HR says, "Where are your timesheets?" Whatever happened to my promotion? But that's inevitable, because the foam underneath is undulating, so it's never going to be perfectly sheer unless you add a solid frame to the edges, which defeats the simplicity of this design. Although it seems like an add-on, I actually like the look of the buttons for that sort of finished, upholstered look. So after that initial hiccup, I'm actually really happy with the result. They look much better than I expected, and the cover adds almost nothing to the cost of the panel, but it does mean that you can customize it to the look of your room. So if this helps you improve the acoustics of your space, let me know. If you have any better solutions, share it in the comments. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I really do love you. No, I love you. No, I love you. Judy. Beep, beep.